that do actually like go out and chase them.
Oh yeah, because a lot of times then you see that tornado starting to form, you come up on that storm and then it just cycles down and it never recycles back up. But the one over here that you abandon, it cycles up and it produces a nice tornado. So you don't really know right now which
like
one's the best.
A weather version of gambling.
Paducah is where we were. When these storms started firing over here, we would have just gotten onto this road and come up here, and we're on a storm that's already got spin, and we were about 35, 40 minutes from our target when we started. So that would be a great chase start right there.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're doing as a chaser, is trying to be in well position so that when they do fire up, you can just kind of come up and get into them.
So do you head straight to the storm, or do you try and stay ahead of it?
So I'm ahead of it right now if I take this road. So I'd be hurrying up to Marion in Illinois. I think that's Marion, Illinois. It's right on the border because Vernon, Illinois, the Indiana border is right in here. So yeah, we'd probably be heading over to Marion, and then that would put us right dead in the path of the spin, hoping, that we're in position for something to really pick up. It's definitely the better place to be because on a storm, the front of the storm tends to push out more. There's where there's going to be more rain coming out of the front. And the updraft tends to come back around into the storm and then spin back in here. Okay. So we would be in perfect position in Marion. So if you and I were out right now, we'd be sitting in Marion excited. We got 2 spins now.
Oh.
So it's definitely a lot of spin in this storm right here. Not a tornado warning yet, though. So that's the other thing. The Doppler radar that I'm using here on this gives me a heads up of something that potentially could become tornado warned.
So these aren't considered tornado warnings yet?
Not yet.
What about tornado watches? So we're
already in a tornado watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just what? So a tornado watch is when they say there's a tornado watch, it's essentially just weather that could turn into a tornado?
So the weather today is capable of producing a tornado.
Okay. That's tornado watch.
Yes. If it's a thunderstorm watch, the days potentially could produce some severe thunderstorms. Tornadoes aren't real likely.
And tornado warning is there's an actual tornado that's touched the ground.
Or the radar is showing it so strong of rotation in it that they believe it might be on the ground, so they put the warning out figuring it's probably on the ground.
Okay.
So that's where us chasers come in to play. We tweet over to the National Weather Service and say, hey, I'm spotter number such and such. The tornado is on the ground. I just thought rip out 2 trees.
Okay, so they actually get a lot of their information from you guys.
Chasers.
Okay,
Yes.
I didn't know that either.
We try to save lives when we're out there. We try to give them the eyes that they don't have because they're stuck in the office. They're sitting on the computer looking at the same thing we are. They're seeing the same rotation we are, but they don't have the eyes to know is it down. Because sometimes this level here, it could already have touched down and they wouldn't have known it. And we could say, hey, I saw debris spinning for about 30 seconds on the ground. This thing's definitely already touched. So then they decide if they want to go off the report that we gave or they're just going to watch it tighter. Sometimes they'll put a warning off just off of what we say. If they trust the chaser, they tend to. But
so having a good reputation as a chaser is
very important not to give out false alarms. If you give out a couple of false alarms, they ain't going to listen to you ever again.
Oof.
Yeah. Which is smart.
I mean.
And there's some guys that are they're tornado crazy. They want to say they saw 20 tornadoes in the day. It's like, so, yeah, they can pick that out pretty fast.
Yeah.
So this one here, we'd be right sitting in Marion right now. That's where we'd be at. This has spotter reports on mine here. So if I show you on here, there's little green dots. Those are chasers and spotters.
Oh.
So
you can see where other chasers are at.
Not going to cooperate, is it? Come on. There we go. Nope, not going to cooperate. Anyways, this gives me spotter reports. There we go. So here it says hail 1.25 inches was spotted there. So they turn that in. Quarter to $half size hail covering the ground at Love's truck stop. So now they know exactly where that hail's dropping down. 3/4 inch hail by this chaser or a spotter. Because the spotters and chasers, a spotter is somebody who lives there and doesn't really go out of his county.
Okay.
He just kind of stays there. And the government trains him for free, teaches him how to be able to turn in his reports to help out. The chasers, we're the ones that then will go everywhere. We'll just follow the storms. If we have to go through 3 states, we'll do it.
See, and I never realized there was so much more going on behind the scenes when it does come to like storms and storm chasing and weather reporting, because you just assume the meteorologist in the news desk is making all the decisions on what exactly is happening outside, but
they're relying on people like
Right.
us. Yep.
That's really cool.
Now you get into Oklahoma, you've got the TV stations. They actually have guys go out for the TV station and cover it. And then they'll film it with their little phones and send it back. Hey, we're on such and such a street, tornado's touching down. And then the TV station will cut to that guy, show his
Right.
video. So the TV stations there, they're all storm chasers, all of them.
Oh,
If you lived in Oklahoma, you will always know exactly where that tornado is. There'll be no doubt. I mean, they'll tell you it's on, 35th Avenue and 12th Street right now. That's where it's touching down.
so is Oklahoma kind of like a storm chaser's
That's where
dream state?
everybody chases there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you live in Oklahoma, you've probably chased at least 1 or 2 tornadoes just because you live there. I mean, that's just kind of normal.
That is the last state I will ever move to.